So the guy next door is mowing and weed eating. I keep thinking he's done, and then he just keeps going. So I guess he's not going to stop. But, okay, so this whole thing started, obviously, when I lost my daughter, and me and my granddaughter were supposed to go on a trip in the motorhome that I purchased because that was something that me and my daughter were supposed to do with what was going on. My daughter had brain cancer. So, anyhow, in previous videos, you'll see that we left. We headed across country to spend a couple of months, which was only supposed to be a couple of months, if that, maybe a month, in Tennessee with my cousin, and then head north for the rest of the summer and just travel around and work. And yeah. Oh, perfect. Good idea. Okay. Oh, well, I'll be there in a minute. I'll be done and we'll get ready to go. Okay. So, then the motorhome broke down 5 hours away from our destination, which is about 40 minutes west of Nashville. So frustratingly enough, my cousin's husband, who works nights, had to get off work, come home. Their neighbor had a bigger truck than them. They borrowed the neighbor's truck. They came 5 hours, which during that time we were unpacking everything in the motorhome, which was quite a bit, and then packed up the truck when they got there, and then drove 5 hours back. Let me tell you, it was grueling. The poor man, he slept for a couple of hours, like I think 4 hours, and then had to get up and go to work. It was craziness. Well, on top of that, I had paid someone a decent sum of money, around $2,500, to change out the, I always forget the name of it, the valve body in my transmission, because my transmission was going bad, and there's reasons in why changing out the valve body in the Mini Coopers to 2010s works regardless. The only thing is that he didn't do anything. He didn't do what he said that was done, and he did not he didn't seal or close my transmission, my oil pan thing, whatever, anyways, the thing that closes it. Anyhow, before he brought it to me the day before I was leaving to go cross country, and I was on a time limit because I had to pick up my son, get to Tennessee, and get him to the airport by that Friday to catch his flight back home to get to work. Regardless, so when I got my car that day, that I was in the midst of packing and getting ready to go and getting the motorhome ready, and when we were about to put it up on the tow dolly behind the motorhome, I realized there was a huge, gigantic pile of transmission fluid on the ground. By the time we got it up onto the tow dolly, practically all of my transmission fluid was just bled out. That was a nightmare. So when we got to Tennessee, which not only we packed our stuff up into this truck, but then we had to hook the tow dolly onto the back. It was a nightmare. Anyhow, we got all that done. So we ended up getting it to a mechanic here. He put the transmission back together, transmission fluid back together and everything, filled it all back up, put it all back together, and it ran good for 2 months. And then I went over a really huge pothole because Nashville has gigantic potholes the size of swimming pools. And then the transmission went out and has not worked since. Oh my gosh, he's at it again. So anyhow, I was without a car for a year, working from home in the middle of nowhere, and saving as much as I could to get a motorhome and a car replaced. Well, as you know, as you heard in the previous videos, the little one didn't want to move into another motorhome and decided she wanted to just get a house. Well, I had enough money to get a house. I had enough money to put down on a small house, and I happened to find a really cute small house, which you'll see in the video. The first house was the cutest little house, and it was affordable. It made sense. It was in a great place. Everything would have worked perfect. Unfortunately, I got caught up with a crummy, horrible, greedy realtor that ended up messing everything up, which was a nightmare. And I had to find another house fast. So I found this other house. Well, they accepted my offer. The only problem is that it was weighing on me. It was twice as much as the other house. It was twice as big, actually 3 times as big. And I just, the money going into it was the same, but the money going out afterwards was, twice as much, and twice as much of a commitment. I wouldn't be able to leave and rent it out or Airbnb it or anything like that. So by the time, I would be bound to it. I wouldn't be able to save any money. It would just be rough. And it was weighing on me so hard that it just wasn't going to work. I just felt wrong. So I was still looking, trying to find something that was, anywhere remotely closely to the first house. And realizing that I was just putting in the offer on the other house because it was doable and it was what my grandbaby wanted. Well, in the midst of looking for something else that made more sense, I ended up finding a something else. Not quite a motorhome, but similar, just different. And I know that it's not what she wanted, but in the end, it will be better. And I'm going to leave pictures up here of both houses so you can see what I was talking about. And then I'm going to leave pictures of what we ended up buying. Mind you, what I'm buying is only a quarter of what I was going to be putting down on the house. It's literally nothing money because it needs to be restored. It needs to be fixed up. But there's a reason why I'm doing it. And through all of this, you will find out why. So when you see the pictures of what we did instead, I know you're going to say, oh my God, why? But in the end, you'll see why. As for my trip to Atlanta, well, I ended up buying a car because where sits what we bought is on the Louisiana side of the Mississippi and Louisiana line. And my job that I work from home with, I have to be in only certain states. Mississippi is one of them. Well, because my fees and everything with what I bought are so low, I ended up finding some office space that I can rent for barely $200 a month. It's a shared space in a real estate office. But there's more to that story too, of how I found that and how I ended up deciding to do what I did instead of buying the house. And that is all to come. So enjoy the videos of the 2 houses I had to choose from, why I decided on not getting the second one, and why and what I'm going to do with the third option that has already been taken care of. We are leaving on June 8th. So it's coming soon. And I'll put a couple pictures of the little car I bought, which is it's so far seemingly in great running and, you know, condition wise as far as getting the job done. There's a lot of things on it that I weren't expected, but it's okay because I know that it's mechanically sound. The air conditioner does not work like I was told, even though he said, well, it works fine when I had it. Well, it worked fine 2 days ago, but it does only not blow cold. So maybe you are just, I don't know. I have a hard time believing you can't tell the difference between a very cold and working, fully functioning air conditioner in a car and one that doesn't blow very cold at all. So regardless, that's pretty much my only muff about it. Oh, other than the fact that he didn't mention that the radio was shorted out or something, but that's fine too, because, you know, that's what Bluetooth is for. And I have my phone and a little speaker thing, so we're good with that. Either way, I will post some pictures of that as well on this video. And I'm sorry it's so long. Regardless, have a great day. Me and the little one are going to go do some scavenger hunting, and I will post some videos of that as well. Bye.